Today we're going to make honeybee cookies, and this is a recipe using obviously honey, and it's a nice easy recipe. Honey is a great kind of sugar, and it makes a great moist cookie. Okay, the first thing I need to do is preheat my oven, so I'm going to go to the oven. I already have in my oven, I have my baking stone in here, and so I'll preheat this and that will be heating up while I'm getting my ingredients. Okay, the first thing you need is a ½ cup of margarine or butter, and this should be soft, and so that will be 1 stick. ½ cup equals 1 stick. So I have that, and then I need a ½ cup of packed brown sugar. So I will dip in here and pack it in. And then level that off. Put that in a bowl. And I need a ½ cup of honey. And this honey, the lid is sticking. Well, I think I need my little tool. This is, the lid's on kind of cross-threaded, so this is just a nice tool I have to open jars when I can't get them open. Okay, got the lid off, the ring off. This honey is from bees in Michigan. My brother-in-law happens to be a beekeeper, and he has all kinds of hives, and so he collects honey and extracts it, and it's quite a process. And at one point he was the largest beekeeper in the state of Michigan, so he traveled all over the state, and now his bees are being transported down to Georgia and South Carolina in the wintertime so they can continue gathering their nectar and making honey, and they, as I understand it, they do better down there in the warmer temperatures instead of the very, very cold weather. So there we have a ½ cup of honey and 1 egg, and then I also need a cup, one and a half cups of flour. So I'll just fill my cup up and do the leveling, cut across and level. So there's a cup, and then I have a clean ½ cup. Cut across there like that. Put those 2 in there. So that's 1 1/2 cups of flour. What else do I need? A ½ teaspoon of baking soda. I just keep my baking soda in this container. It's a nice way to keep it. And I level it on the edge of the box. So there's a ½ cup of that. And I need a ½ cup of salt. And if you remember, my salt always comes out fast, so I pour it over something else and then level it off. And the last ingredient is cinnamon. There's no way to level this real nicely, so I'll have to use my straight edge spatula. Put that in there. Okay, so that is all the ingredients that I'm going to use. And the directions say to beat the margarine, which is this. Put that in a bowl. The margarine, the brown sugar, the honey. This honey needs a little help getting out. Honey's interesting because it changes colors and flavors depending on what flowers the bees have available to them. So some honey has a lot of taste from the clover, and every flower has a different flavor for these bees. The other thing I need to put in there is an egg. So I'll crack my egg. I'll crack it in this one, the bowl I had the sugar in. Just give it a nice sharp wrap with straight edge spatula, a knife, or something like that. Okay, and I'll put that in this bowl. And then we're going to use the electric mixer to beat this. It says you need to scrape it continually. So that's what I'm going to do, and it's a little hard to hear me talking over this mixer, so that's what I'm going to do for the next little bit here. You need to be careful so you don't throw the butter all over. Now it's all mixed, it's beat. It's what you would call creamed, and I need to scrape the edges down. You need to do that several times while you're doing this mixing. Okay. Now it says stir in the remaining ingredients. So I'll put the flour in. And the cinnamon, the baking powder, and the salt. And you always need to go back and check your recipe to make sure you have everything in, because if you miss an ingredient, it doesn't turn out. And sometimes I've had groups forget flour, and it does not work if you don't have flour in it. So very carefully mix this. We don't want the flour going all over. Now this is a nice batter's all mixed. I have all the flour mixed in. It's just a light hint of cinnamon. I'll take that. The oven is almost ready, so as soon as that's ready I can take my baking stone out and start putting the cookies out onto the stone. Okay, the oven is ready, so I'm going to take the stone out. And you will not have a stone, so you don't need to worry about this step. You'll just put yours onto an ungreased, it has to be ungreased, baking sheet, cookie sheet, and either use a couple of teaspoons, and I have the scoop, the cookie scoop, so that's what I'm going to use. You don't want these too big. They don't take very long to bake, 7 to 9 minutes. So that's not a very long time, but these will be a nice soft cookie, and like I said, with just a hint of cinnamon. It's the honey that makes them really soft, and I'm not going to put as many on this pan because they will spread out. Okay, I have 12 on this pan. You might get 15 on yours, a little more. And see, because this is warm already, it's starting to melt down. It will melt the butter very quickly. So this goes in the oven, and I'm going to bake these for 7 minutes, and then we'll check them and see if they're done. Okay, 7 minutes, and I checked the cookies. They are ready to come out. They are light brown around the edges, and see, these kind of ran into each other. And they did really spread out. Light brown around the edges, they're set, and they're it said they will still be shiny on top, and that's exactly how we want them. Now, the other thing is we need to leave them sit in the pan for 2 to 3 minutes till they get a little firmer before you try to take them off the pan. So this is what the honeybee cookies look like. The other thing I forgot to show you, and I wanted to show you, is again how to easily clean out this mixer beater. You know, it's easy to get the inside cleaned out. This is a little different than some of the cookie recipes where most of it's gone anyway. But just take a knife and clean the inside and clean on the edges of the beater, and it comes off very easily. Okay, so that's all there is to making these cookies, and I hope you enjoy them.